My name is Dennis Muguta. I'm from Kenya. Um, I'm also the co-founder of Loopa Rwanda. We are three co-founders, um, two Rwandans and one Kenyan. The problem you're trying to address is around waste management, but is intertwined, is multifaceted because it's both solving waste management, but also addressing the need for affordable agriculture input. That's the fertilizer. So we are making the fertilizer from the organic waste themselves, but we are using biological agents to do that particular conversion. We founded the Loopa last year, that is 2023. So we are about to go to our 1-year anniversary. That's around June.
Congratulations.
And we happen to form it through Jasiri program. That's Jasiri mentors the entrepreneurship within East Africa, supported by Alan Gill and Gray Philanthropy from South Africa. So that's how the opportunity for me meeting other Pan-Africans within East Africa that also want to solve different problems. That's how we happen to meet together through that particular program. It's very essential, and it has equipped us with a lot from launching a solution from a problem perspective, but not from the solution perspective. And that's how Loopa got born.
Wow, interesting. I was most of my knowledge about your background is from your profile on LinkedIn. So I saw that your journey starts in product development back in 2016 as So now you're working in waste management, and you're also taking the role. You're the co-founder of this company, but you're taking the role of a product development. So before I get into the details of the current company and your role in product development in Loopa, take me back into before meeting your co-founders in the Jasiri program in Rwanda. I think what your experience was like in Kenya, what you were trying to build, because I also saw that you were participating in a lot of acceleration programs and a lot of so I think this will be a valuable input for our audience who are most of early stage entrepreneurs. So it would be nice to talk about this accelerator programs, this support system for entrepreneurs in Africa. So walk me through how your journey in entrepreneurship started, what your background is mainly, and then we'll take it from there.
Okay. So my background academically, I'm a chemist by profession, and I've learned entrepreneurship through failures and wins along the journey. So as a product developer, started me being a formulation chemist during my intern days. That mostly involves both development of chemical compounds that are either used in shoes products, that was in butter, as well as also cosmetic products. These are mostly hair products as well as skincare products. That was my second venture. My second opportunity working, but all in Kenya. It's then through that particular journey, I would feel, yes, I have science background, a lot of it, but I have the urge to solve other problems that I come across every day while going to work. And that's how the journey started, me actually seeing diapers along the road every day. And I would ask, with all this knowledge we have, and I also had peers back from campus, what can we do around it? That's when my entrepreneurship journey now kick-started officially, where we came up.
So this is when, to put a timeline, when
the timeline, this was 2019.
Okay.
This was in 2019, and that's when we realized actually diapers were a menace and very few solutions to handle them were available. Even right now, it's still a big problem because number one, it's a very well engineered product. It was very well designed, but how to recycle it is a complete problem. It's very difficult to even recycle back those materials and reuse them again. So for us, thinking through it and brainstorming around it, we thought of a number of concepts, but one of the concepts that came out better was converting it into fuel, because again, there is also need for energy within the African countries. So we went with a green chemistry technique. By green chemistry, I mean it's a technique that is environmentally friendly and doesn't involve a lot of waste, either through molecular bonding and all other things. It's as efficient as possible. So the very first concept, that was the very first innovation, and they happened to win several awards. That's both in Africa and as well as globally through a competition called Climate Launchpad.
So you incorporated this into a company?
Yeah, now we incorporated into a company now in 2019.
Oh, okay.
Officially. But the journey started early in 2019, but then towards the end of 2019, that's when we now saw actually there's a big opportunity and a big problem we are addressing. Let's see how this will look like. We didn't see the journey, well, especially when you win the first awards, you look at your entrepreneurship journey now, this is it, and everything else will translate the same way. But then the work says it all. So now going to the ground, you realize technically the solution comes in, the sustainability of that particular solution, both economically, is another factor, because again, if it can't pay itself, or no one can pay for it, or no one can afford for it, there's no business there. So we went through that journey. So we opened our first laboratory in the late 2020, because we had to start from that. Trying to knock on doors in the government institutions and other private institutions. The fact that is a new innovation is a novel and it involves science, not very many are very open to some of those ideas. In short, these institutions don't have a framework to work with innovators who come with a completely new novel idea. So you have to keep on knocking on doors, but also the time it's running. So we found ourselves opening our first lab. We made a few mistakes there as well. We tried to debunk the whole diaper, how it is put together, like more of a reverse engineering way to get back to the initial materials and make it up, and then how we can come back again and create fuel from it. So another journey that took, even now we are still pushing, but along the way, that is in 2022, we got a startup visa in Netherlands to try to see if we can now get technical expertise to get assisted and see if we can take it to the next level. It is at that point other things start showing up within the team dynamics. Some are into the idea, others are not into the idea, and you have to agree the best direction you need to take. So for it to suit African market, we had to think of pivoting it to a solution that is not as complex as the other one, and also that can be economically viable within the African market, either selling it to the waste managers or also selling it to the local government. However, the cost of building it's not something less. So it's a whole setup that need to be thought around. They have different scientific processes that are happening that also need a special casing to house them. So it's a journey, and you're still building it one step at a time for Leafy Life. And then it's along that journey now, I happened to come across Jasiri, and I get to even partner with more co-founders and identify more problems.
So what's the name of this specific business that you're engaged in with the diaper recycling?
It's called Leafy Life.
Leafy Life?
Yeah, Leafy Life.
Okay. So Jasiri program.
Oh yeah, so Jasiri program came in. That is we joined the third cohort in March last year. That is March 2023. That is in Rwanda, and when I compare other ecosystems that I went through, well, in Leafy Life, I noticed a bit of difference with this one. The other ones, the focus was mostly what you have already created, and how you can make much, how you can build business from it, but with less of thinking of the end user or of the problem in details themselves and how well that solution you build it can fit in. It's more of thinking from a solution first and then problems come later. Jasiri is the other way around. You need to think from the first principle of breaking a problem to the core. So you get your problem. You don't even have to think of the solution first. You have to keep your solution very far away. So you meet the real problem on the ground. You understand what that problem entails. You understand all different systems around that problem, both from political system that hinder it, economical systems that hinder it, and also ecological systems that are there. And then look for the exact niche within that problem that you can address with a particular solution. So it was a wake-up call for me. Entrepreneurship a bit different, shifting now from problem first now shifting from the solution first now to the problem first. And the other concept with the Jasiri program is you get to meet people you have never met before in life, from different backgrounds, and you have to co-found with them a company. You have to co-found with them from understand this particular problem, going through the research phase until you ideate an amicable solution to address that problem. And that's the Jasiri journey for 1 year, but first 3 months is for the context for you to understand what is a problem and how to build a solution around it.
Yeah, it's one of the questions that I also had I also have had the privilege to talk to an entrepreneur that went through the Jasiri program, and this episode will be released soon, but she also met her co-founders through this program. And one of the questions that I had was, usually what you hear is or from experiences is co-founders are usually people who have some relationship that they have already built, in a strong relationship, and then on top of that they can, they come up with ideas and they build a project together. How do you find it so far, or what have been the challenges, or what like even the good or the bad side? It's good that Jasiri program attracts a lot of talent from within Africa with diverse backgrounds, and that's one of the biggest advantages. But on top of that, like this strong bond that sort of is missing initially. It's not because of the lack of entrepreneurs, but it's because of it's a matter of time. It's a question of time. So how do you see your experience in that sense?
It's true. Co-founding is not easy, especially people you met for a very short period of time. So a few challenges, the fact that I don't come from Rwanda, I also come from Kenya. Understanding the dynamics between the two countries and how well you can co-found this thing amicably is something to learn along the way. Yeah, there are a few things you need to change, both even from where you come from, your own family, you need to address as to why you need to make that particular move. And that's one of the biggest challenge, I would say. The other one is along the way you understand your co-founder, you might be very similar in some places. And when you're very similar as well, you get to disagree one way or the other, because you're all thinking at the same level. Your ideas need to be listened to, but the smartest way is to disagree well along the way, and you get to learn this person, and they also get to learn you. You also get to know what's that extra thing that you can grasp from them and fill up your cup, and also the same thing gets reciprocated from your side. So it's a journey of learning one another. It's a journey also me understanding a country from scratch, because As much as we are all Africans, on the ground things are different. On the ground things are different. The way things are run in Ethiopia is not the same way things are run in Kenya or Rwanda. So you get to understand that, and also you really need patience. Understanding the system. People cannot be fast as where you come from. And also you can go to a place where people are a bit faster than where you come from. So adjusting the speed, adjusting how things work, understanding each other, and working hand in hand until you see the concept as been birthed is the most important thing.
Yeah, I think personally speaking, I also from one of my previous interviews, there was a good perspective, there was a good discussion that we raised, and it's being Pan-African. We always say it, let's operate across Africa. It's not easy, but I think one of the biggest opportunities that Jasri brings is giving this cultural exchange aspect into entrepreneurship as well. It's kudos to the team at Jasri, because now that you're from Kenya and they're from Rwanda, you're gonna have that advantage from other entrepreneurs or other businesses, startups in the same space, because you have experience, you have the know-how about what the problem in Kenya is, first-hand experience, and your co-founders have a first-hand experience of what the problem is in Rwanda. So you have a you're in the lead when it comes to at least just from talking in perspective of like expanding into Kenya or Rwanda. So it's a balance between, it's the good and the bad, but I think the good will outbalance it, I think.
At the end of the day, the good weighs more.
Yeah, I agree. So going back to your previous business in the diaper recycling, so I can see that from your interest in your past experience, you're passionate about recycling, clearly. So are you still actively involved in the diaper recycling business?
Yes, I am. But our progress right now, we are the pivoting and developing a new technology. It's a bit slow because of the finances also that are involved. But as usual, entrepreneurs are cockroaches that don't die because of particular challenges. You have to keep on getting your head up regardless. And know the next move to do. So we are trying to rebuild it slowly in a different direction, because there's a problem that is there and is actually need to be addressed as fast as possible. Yeah, and again, diaper is a technology. Right now, the African market is really adopting it like crazy. Birth rates, it's a new thing. Everybody needs it, everybody likes it, everybody wants it. Even the villages where you couldn't see diapers before, now they're there. And how to dispose them is still a problem. So it's something that needs urgently to be addressed, and it's a progress, and we are hoping to develop the tech that is ready and also commercially viable.
So when it's at a point where you're able to disclose more information about this business, I would like to also put forward the invitation to come and chat with our audience regarding this business. But moving to Loopa, it's in waste management, and I've also seen that it's currently the operation is currently, if I'm not wrong, based solely in Rwanda at the moment. Okay, so tell us a bit about how you identified the problem. How big is this problem, and what are your solutions that you have proposed for this problem? And also, I would like to hear a bit more about the backgrounds of your co-founders as well. I know that your background is in chemistry. I would like to hear more about your two other co-founders as well.
So Loopa, the problem came in when me and my co-founder, we had an understanding of circular economy and circular systems. And having participated in waste management, and also him having built the systems, circular system around the waste management in Rwanda. We saw we had some technical understanding of this, and moving forward, how does waste management happen in Rwanda, or what's the most pain point around it? So we noticed organic waste is the biggest percentage of waste we'll ever find, amounting to 60, almost all the way to 70% of all the waste that goes to the landfills. And the question was, yes, organic waste has its own problems. Release of the potent greenhouse gas to the environment, that's the methane, and also in some cases cause diseases. Because it's a problem within East Africa, the next question was, where should we launch this? Should we start with Kenya first, or should we start with Rwanda first? But then we noticed it's good to start from the Rwanda perspective again. The startup ecosystem is getting much better, and also better state frameworks and easy accessibility of is it the government agency? Is it the other private partners that are available? Easy to access them, and speed up the process of developing the product. So that was one of the catalyst for us to launch this particular product in Rwanda. And then we also noticed now along the way that fertilizer was a big challenge in Rwanda. It was very expensive for most small-scale farmers, to a point whereby almost 70% of the small-scale farmers in Rwanda are relying on manure. They mostly manure, and also their yields are not that high as the way they used to back in the day. So shows degradation of the soil due to the practices that they're using. So how to put them together now was the question of where the business is. Again, you want to address the problem where you have big numbers. Again, that's where you're going to create a stronger business case, and that's how we landed now into making the organic fertilizer. But another question now came in was how to do it. There are different ways of converting this waste to the fertilizer. Different methods would make the product too expensive, and the farmer, at the end of the day, small-scale farmer, would not even afford it in the first place. So we had to look different biological systems that we can use for this case. And I'm glad my co-founder on the other. So my co-founder, let me give a quick background about them. So one is a finance. It's called Ghislaine Dukuze, but has experience around circular ecosystems. And then we have Cindy Omutoniwabu, who also has a background in software engineering. So we sat down and after scouting different solutions that were available, one that stand out the most was easy to implement, also easy to add tech along the way for efficiency, was use of earthworms to convert the organic waste into nutrient-rich.
To use what?
Compost. And then from earthworms, the red worms. Those are the biological agents.
Okay.
A specific species. Yes.
Oh,
in other words,
worms.
It's called vermiculture. They are worms, yes.
Could you spell it out? Maybe I'll just attach more reference material to our audience for those.
Red worms.
Oh, okay.
Red worms.
R-E-D.
Okay. Red
Got
worms,
it.
yes.
Got it. Okay.
So that is a specific species that we realized had a good conversion rate. Now, after identifying that works, the next was to do the first piloting. Also, that taught us a few things and a few challenges along the way. So, number one, depending on the ways you feed them, you might get your product faster, or it might take time, because biological cycle is always, time frame is everything for it. And now to understand the way to mitigate this is where now the tech part came in, and Cindy Omutoniwabu is the one behind the way you can implement IoT to fasten up the process. You might ask, I as a product development part now to get the final product, where that comes in handy is now the fortification process. That's where now the science part also adds in more. Once the worms do the conversion, because literally they feed on the waste and then they poop and they pee. So the poop is the fertilizer that we need, and the pee is the liquid fertilizer. So for the poop, we need to enhance it even further to make sure it has the right nutrient composition to be able to address the problem to the farmers even deeper. And that's where now I as a product developer comes in through that process and testing, demo farm, and also getting the feedback and also constant iteration until we get the results that for sure are addressing the need.
Okay. In this, well, talking about your co-founders, you said there's a technical team involved in the project as well. You mentioned that you're using IoT to enhance the conversion rate. How
The
are you
conversion rate
utilize-
from request to the fertilizer.
Okay, how are you utilizing IoT in this case? If you can talk a bit about the details,
yeah.
or
Yeah. So these particular biological agents have their optimal conditions under which the conversion rate is efficient. So for us to be able to monitor and make sure we constantly provide them with that those conditions, IoT comes in handy to make sure that we constantly know what's going on. If a certain fluctuation, let's say temperature happens, we know that, and all other aspects, parameters that are displayed, we know what need to be adjusted. So that also we shorten the cycle time for our production.
Okay, no, okay, it's clear. It's more of a monitoring and regulating the environment for this biological.
Yes.
I see, understood.
Optimization and increase of efficiency, conversion efficiency.
So now your current products, well, the problem that you're trying to solve, from what I understand, is organic waste management, taking in waste, and then so now what you do with the waste is convert this waste into organic fertilizers. So that's going to be the product that's going to be monetized, and yeah. So how has been your journey so far in terms of finding a market? Now that you have identified this problem, and you know, clearly across Africa, waste is a big problem, but now converting this into a product is another big challenge that you are actively working on and optimizing it. But once you got this product, this fertilizer, you have to go out and sell it and find a market for it. So what's your experience has been in that journey?
So that's another learning curve that has presented ourselves. As much as we thought the small scale farmer actually really need these products, we are also realizing that it's also a bit expensive for them. So that makes us go back to the drawing board again in the development, how we can reduce the cost and sustain the whole business. But again, another class of markets is showing much more potential to start with. That's the commercial farms. They can afford large numbers, and if you'll be able to produce in large numbers, you also kind of reduce the cost of the production. Things like packaging and the other small nitty-gritties, they are kind of eliminated. So it's easy to produce in large numbers and sell to commercial farms, and also it's they are willing to pay immediately. So that's another learning lesson that has presented itself. As much as we thought we were going to start with small scale farmer, actually it might not be the case. It might be the next step after, first of all, starting with the commercial farms. Yeah, so that's the learning curve around selling.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, it's more of a business to business approach, I guess. So now that in your 10 months journey, I guess you can set multiple milestones. Maybe it's getting this product validated and tested, and then once you have proven that this fertilizer is going to have an effect on yield, then you go out and sell it. But so what's the current step that you're at, and what's the next milestone that you're going to set that you have set and that you're working towards, and what's the challenge that you're facing to reach that milestone, or the challenges that you have to you have to pass?
So the next milestone now is to make the version 2 of the product. The version 2 is a much stronger product than what we currently have, after noticing number one, understanding different seasons that farmers have, also the crops that they're farming and the need of those particular crops. All these we do in hand with the help of agronomists. Both we have our own agronomist and also the agronomist from different clients that we are selling the product to. So that development of the V2 is another journey, because number one, there are raw materials that you need to add on top of what the worms are giving you, so that you boost it and make it stronger. And that doesn't just come with the raw materials and addition alone, also comes with the testing part. So that's the next milestone that we're looking forward to before our first fiscal year is done. And on top of that, also amp up our production capacity to whereby we have a confidence of, if a client right now drops an order of 30 tons a month, we can comfortably take that order and supply.
So it's scaling
to scale, yes.
Improving the product, the performance of the product, and also scaling the production output.
Scaling the production capacity. Yes.
So when talking about scale, I would like to get to that, but talking about the specific thing that you mentioned now, what are the challenges that you're facing in terms of whether it's finding the right talent or finding the right technical support or equipment for your chemical processes, or whether it's capital or support from the government, or whatever it may be? What are some of the key challenges that you're facing in your current, or you're anticipating? You might not be facing it right now, but you might be anticipating it as well.
Yeah, so some of the foreseen challenges, it's around the talent. We also need, I'm a chemist. I have some background in formulation, but in agricultural products, it's not the same as the other chemical products. So there's something that you need help from either an agronomist or a formulator who has been in this space for some time. So that has been one challenge, which we are trying to see who we can partner with, either a company or an individual who is more of a consultant. The other challenge comes with machinery. Actually, we faced it even from the piloting stage, whereby we bought a shredder and it broke down. It wasn't the shredder we needed. So the shredder we took supposed to break down dried waste, but we are dealing with wet waste, and that's another challenge, and it's still a challenge to this moment. And when it comes to scaling up, we need a bigger one. So sourcing for one is one challenge, and also affording one. Getting an affordable one is one of the biggest challenges that we are foreseeing. The other one has been partnership with local universities so that we can get technical help. They are open, but again, universities, they also have their own terms and conditions that you need to work with, especially around the IP. And we feel like it's a bit too early for us to sign some very strict IP contracts with some of the institutions. But it would be advisable first if we can explore all the options that we have on the table to have as many rights as possible within the IP that we're trying to develop through this process. Then from there, in the future, we can see how that partnership with the universities or other technical institutions look like. Yeah. Then for the capital, that's a challenge for most entrepreneurs in Africa. It's always number one. We have a runway to take us through most part of the way to our fiscal year, but we are actively also looking for extra funds so that we can easily get to the next milestones that we have for the year too.
You also mentioned it lightly that you had some capital issues in that business as well. So it's a thing that we are noticing time and time again, especially during the conversations or through the entrepreneurs that we meet through our community. It's a challenge that a lot of Africans are facing, early stage entrepreneurs in Africa are facing, is capital. I would like to have someone from Jasri and really explore, but from your first-hand experience, I want to hear what were the opportunities that were unlocked for you in terms of access to capital from participating in the Jasri program?
Yeah, that's a good question. So once you're done with the 3 months of intensive residential to understand entrepreneurship basics, the next step, once the problem is it's valid and the business case is strong, or the solution, they give you a grant of $10,000. That's helps in the piloting. That's now what accelerated us in the piloting stage, from doing the first setup, buying the first machineries, and also doing the very first biological system setting up. And then that run you for 1 year, and through now the venture creation stage. That's after the 3 months. And at this stage, despite you guys being funded, we are also having coaches who are hand in hand working with us, giving us both the financial management advices, strategic advices, as well as how to pitch in the first place. Not also forgetting product development, also coaches. So we have a bunch of coaches taking us through managing the 10K and also seeing the product itself comes to life, is addressing the problem that in the first place you said is going to do so. And then once now you're done with those first 1 year of Jasiri, and the business case is strong, the traction is there, the customers are there, even you have pre-orders. The next stage now is the growth accelerator, where you also have to apply, and based on the progress you have and where you intend to be, you get funded. But that time, I'm sure once we met a Jasiri member, will be able to give you more details on that one. Yeah.
So you're not at that stage. You're not. You have not gone through the growth accelerator program yet.
Not yet.
Oh, okay.
But we are looking forward to it.
So the 10,000 is equity free. They don't take equity.
Yeah, it's equity free. Yes.
Oh, okay.
No, they don't take equity.
Okay, so now you mentioned that. This is a very good opportunity for early stage entrepreneurs that want to validate their idea, test their idea. It's a good source of capital. This is very good. But what other, especially for people that are building businesses in Africa, whether it's SMEs, whether it's startups, what options do you see for raising capital?
So the number one option that, like for me personally, when I was starting the diaper, was asking money from family members. That was to do the very first concept, and actually I did it at the backyard of our home. Raising the small amount from your auntie or brother, that's the very first step. And then the next stage now was, so after you develop the first concept and you see actually this is something and there is a great opportunity here, the next step was to look for different opportunities that I can apply it to, and grant was the next step. My mentor comes from University of Nairobi, and he would take me through the best way to make your proposal strong for you to stand out. Grants, and that was the next step for the Leafy Life, and for the awards that we won. the grant money the best we can manage. That's the other opportunity. The other opportunity presenting itself now is through raising money through the VC firms. But you need to have validated your concept. You need to have traction with you. You also need to have a strong team that for sure knows what they're about to launch. The mission, the vision need to be very clear and very well aligned. So yeah, that has been my journey, and that's most likely what I'm overseeing going to happen or transit with us moving forward.
VC, so that's also in our community. That's something we're actively trying to understand more, specifically the VC world in the African context, and we don't have a lot of context, and we're trying to get a more in-depth information into like you said, for early stage, for pre-seed and seed, or like an idea that is yet to be validated, capital is one of the key things. And do you see VCs in Africa getting involved at that stage of the company, or is it more of a later stage investment type of deal in your experience?
It's more investment based kind of deal. So especially people in climate tech and agri-tech, you need to have put in a lot of work before able to sit down with them and have a good agreement or a good investment way of you guys, how you're going to work together. So the traction matters a lot, the problem itself. That's how far we have observed it. But again, hopefully we go to the growth accelerator, we'll be able to understand it even in more concepts and deeper, and what other opportunities that are there or different angles we can approach them and still forge forward.
I have no doubt that you'll succeed in this next journey of raising more capital to finance your growth and scale. So coming back to scale, what are the opportunities that you see in Africa, outside of Rwanda? We preach for our community members and entrepreneurs to think Pan-African and to think of solutions that can bring change and disrupt the status quo of doing business in Africa. So how is you and your team preparing yourselves to expand into the rest of the African region?
So the next country we are eyeing is Kenya, from Rwanda. The opportunity that presents itself is the fact that farming it's a backbone for the country. The economy, we export a lot from agricultural produce, and also the population is growing, so food is needed. And the cost of inputs of agricultural materials keep on getting higher and higher. So, and Kenya also presents itself as a good market for people who are quickly wanting to adopt new products, as long as they work according to how they envision. So that is our next target. We also eyeing one day to do exports of especially the liquid fertilizer to Europe for people for gardening who have kitchen gardens or flower gardens. That's how the future. That's how we envision the future as a team.
I see. Not just Africa. We're thinking global.
Yeah, we are thinking global, not just Africa. Yeah, but Africa presents a very good opportunity. The population is growing, food is needed, land is there. So yeah, we need to position ourselves early and right.
Definitely. I think you are positioning yourselves in the right space at the right time. And I'm sure, like I said at the beginning of, maybe it was not recorded, but this is sort of like a checkpoint, like something, a reference point, something to look back into and when in the future we come back and meet for the second time and have a chat, you will have accomplished all your goals, and you will see your company on the top. And it's been a true pleasure learning about your business and learning about your journey and what you're trying to do. And yeah, thank you for your time.
It has been thank you so much, Johannes. It's been a pleasure also sharing, and also the fact that you've given me this platform, not only to talk about my story, but also talk about my venture.